The Obama administration has, of course, named the Ebola czar, and that individual is Ron Klain. And of course, Republicans are not happy with this Ebola czar, even though they were the ones that were continuously pushing the Obama administration to have more of a reaction toward the Ebola epidemic in West Africa and the few cases here in the United States. Now, the Republicans aren't happy with this individual because they feel that his lack of medical background is a big downfall. Except, of course, there's a lot of hypocrisy in this story, and we're going to point it out to you in just a second. Now, first, some of the criticism. Marsha Blackburn said the following: "We were hopeful we were going to have someone who had the experience, not only from the medical community, but an emergency response." So that was what she said on Face the Nation.
That's what's important. You know, I'm with Marsha Blackburn. I know she's been consistent on this, and all the Republicans have. If you're going to have someone responding to a medical situation, it should be a doctor.
I love this. All right, so Ted Cruz had a similar criticism. He said, "Mr. Klain is not a doctor. He's not a healthcare professional. He doesn't have background in these issues." Okay?
Goddamn right, Ted Cruz.
Except here's a little bit of a problem. When the bird flu situation was big during the Bush administration, he appointed what was essentially a bird flu czar. And that guy kind of didn't have a medical background either. And Republicans, conservatives, the conservative media didn't really have much to say about that. In 2004, Bush's bird flu czar was Stuart Simonson. He worked as an assistant secretary of Health and Human Services for Public Health Emergency Preparedness. And although he had no medical experience or expertise in public health, he did enjoy a noted career as a Republican political insider.
Hold on for a second. Excuse me for a second, please. Excuse me for a second.
Now, Bush is Birdman, and that's what he would have called him. You remember when he called his budget director?
Budget man.
And that's not the only time he did it, okay? My budget man.
I kind of miss him, I gotta be honest.
So my Birdman's not really a doctor, doesn't have any medical experience, okay? Never done anything about that, but I needed a savvy Republican political insider for this. Okay, the reaction was non-existent. Everybody's like, oh, way to go, Bushy. Way to be, okay, Birdman, right on point. Now, of course, same exact situation, and oh my God, it's a political operative, not a health expert. What has Obama done? What's amazing is how seriously they get taken. They should be ridiculed by everyone, every time. Like when President Obama first got into office, and they said, oh, he reads from a teleprompter. But wait a minute, everybody in the media knows that every president has read from a teleprompter. So why didn't you make fun of Fox News and say, you idiots, what kind of thing is that to say?
So that's a legitimate thing to criticize Fox News on, right? But in this case, I feel like the Democrats during the Bush administration should have criticized the person that the Bush administration appointed, right?
No, I'm on the other side.
Really?
Yeah,
Why?
and I'll tell you why. It's not, look, I don't want a guy who gave a lot of political donations in these kind of czar situations, whatever, in healthcare, et cetera. But these are political insiders. They didn't give money, right? Well, the reason that being a political insider is actually not that bad a thing in this case is because mainly you have to handle a bureaucracy. You have to get all the different departments to talk to one another and to coordinate them, right? So the real expertise you need is in management, not in like going in there. Like Bush's Birdman wasn't going to be like, I got this, everybody, step aside. I'm going to cure bird flu in a couple of weeks here, okay? You don't need Sanjay Gupta in charge. You need a bureaucrat, honestly, in charge.
Okay, why can't you have a bureaucrat with a medical background? I'm sure that individual exists out there.
All right, look, that's a fair argument to make, and then you should be consistent with Obama and Bush, no matter which way you stand on that. But to me, I actually think that the medical background is not so important in this case. You have the doctors to do doctoring, right? And in this case, you get the management guy to do managing, right? So my take on it is they're both not guilty. And of course, as always with Fox News, there's no sense of proportionality or even-handedness. When Obama reads from a prompter, he's the worst and he's incompetent. When Bush did it, he was awesome. When Bush appointed czars like the Birdman, right? Well, he's being a good manager there, getting in there and appointing czars, rolling up the sleeves, dropping elbows. When Obama said, oh, it's a Soviet Union, like Czars, what is this?
Was Fox News harsh on Sarah Palin when she had like things like freedom written on her hand when she was going to do a speech? Like, I mean, if they're going to criticize Obama for reading off a teleprompter, they should have been very, very critical of her when she had things written on her hand.
Well, they would say
Exaggerations.
or that it's.
I think it's kind of what we call speculation.
Can we play the Mandela clip at some point during the second hour today? That's my favorite Bush clip of all time.
I heard somebody say, "No, where's Mandela?" Well, Mandela's dead because Saddam Hussein killed all the Mandelas.
No, we didn't. That was
There were
the
several
president.
Mandelas, and he killed them all. Okay, look at that face. That guy was president for 8 years, nary a peep of criticism from Fox News, right? And now they criticize Obama because he doesn't know what he's doing. Are you fucking kidding me?